And here we go. Somehow, someway, quite quickly I would say, the 2023-24 NBA regular season is over. The playing games are over and we are ready to watch some playoff basketball. So just last night the last playing games were wrapped up and now we know all the participants of the 2024 NBA playoffs. Who wins? Who loses? Will there be any surprises? Let's waste no time and try to predict the first round. Let's start with the Eastern Conference. So, we have the number 1 Boston Celtics going against the number 8 seed, the Miami Heat. I don't think there's any doubt about who's been the best team in the NBA this season, at least up to this point. It's the Boston Celtics. They advanced to the playoffs like 2 months before the season's end. They already guaranteed the first seed like a month before regular season's end, so they're a juggernaut this year. The addition of Kristaps Porzingis, Drew Holiday really got this team over the hump. Well, at least the regular season's hump. The Celtics won all 3 regular season games against Miami this year, and I don't see how this playoff series could be much more different. Celtics have all their stars ready to go, while Miami will miss Jimmy Butler. By miracle, he could be back for a game or two, but even then, I don't see Miami going over here. And without playoff Jimmy, I don't think they have any chance here. I know Boston's history with Miami, the struggles, the crazy finishes, the upsets, but not this year. Boston is primed to go to the NBA Finals, let alone go past the first round. My heart says Miami could take one game here, because Celtics can get lazy, ISO happy, so I will say 4-1 Boston. But it easily can be a fast sweep as well. So next we have the number 2 seeded New York Knicks versus the number 7 seeded Philadelphia 76ers. This series is a good series on any day of the week. This time around it's harder to predict who will come out as a winner though. On one hand you have the New York Knicks, a team who's been performing the whole season, but they'll be missing one of their best players in Julius Randle. On the other hand, you have your 76ers, who started out well, were thought as one of the contenders for the title, but slipped in the standings and weren't showing their best basketball at the time. Mostly, it's because they were missing their best player Joel Embiid for a big chunk of the season. Now he's back, but from the games he has played so far, he's definitely not 100%. He's gassed, it seems like he's on one leg a lot of the times, and maybe because he shouldn't play, but he wants to help. Knicks trade for OG Anunoby really helped, and Jalen Brunson is a superstar. The Knicks won 3 out of 4 games played against Philadelphia. Joel Embiid wasn't present for a majority of those games for sure, but I still think that with the current health status of Joel Embiid, the Knicks are just a better team. So my prediction here, the Knicks advance to the next round in 6 games. Then we have the number 3 Milwaukee Bucks versus number 6 Indiana Pacers. Now, this should be an interesting series. We can split the Milwaukee Bucks season in 2 parts, before and after Doc Rivers. Before Doc Rivers, they had a good offense and a suspect defense. After, they are an under 500 team. The Damian Lillard trade hasn't really worked out. He's been off most of the year and doesn't seem happy in Milwaukee. As in addition to a bad situation, Giannis is injured as well and won't be available at least in the beginning of the series. Indiana's season can also be split in 2 parts, before and after Halliburton's injury. Before, they were an all-time offense, scoring 150 points every other game. Halliburton was racking up an insane amount of assists and the team was flowing. After, he's still good, but something is missing, just no explosiveness. The trade for Siakam helped, and it will show in this series. I think the Bucks lose here. They aren't a defensive juggernaut anymore, they are struggling on offense, and sure, the Pacers aren't world beaters either, but I just think they take this one. They've already beaten Milwaukee 4 times this season, and this first round series, I think it ends in 6 games, so 4-2 Indiana. And Milwaukee has a long off season, rethinking all the moves they have made and whether they want to continue the Doc Rivers and Damian Lillard experiment. And then we have the number 4 Cleveland Cavaliers against the number 5 Orlando Magic. Both teams split the in-season series 2-2, and I think this is a very close series indeed. As a team, I do like the Cavaliers more. They surprised me last year with how good they were, and this year they were one of the better teams in the East as well. Orlando, all due respect. I sort of thought they might be a play-in team before the season, but they were a playoff team by a mile. They've had a very good season, and I think they have a very good overall team chemistry. They have a lot of good young players, maybe just too young. When series is a close one, I do like that one team that has the best player, and that is Donovan Mitchell with the Cavaliers. Even though he has struggled a bit as of late, I do think he can bounce back during the playoffs. At the same time, I don't want to underestimate Orlando. Paolo Banchero is that Swiss Army knife for Orlando doing everything, and Jalen Suggs can have a few of those great games as well. In a close one, thanks to the home court advantage and thanks to having the best player in the series, I have Cavaliers taking this one in 7. 4-3 Cavs. So, let's go to the West. And in the West, we have the number 1 seeded Oklahoma City Thunder going against the New Orleans Pelicans. Pelicans went through 2 play-in games to get here. Unfortunately, in the process, they also most likely lost Zion Williamson for the season. I know the Oklahoma City has been great this season, and with Zion Williamson ready and healthy for the series, I might have even given the edge to the Pelicans here. But I have to take into account that Zion won't be there. Brandon Ingram just got back. So for OKC, I think the Pelicans will just lack a bit of firepower. In season, they won 2 out of 3 games against OKC, but in the playoffs, I just don't think they can repeat their performance. As for OKC, they had a great season. Shea was an MVP candidate, Holmgren was awesome as well, Jalen Williams I think is a superstar in the making. Yes, they're a very young team, but I believe that in this series, it won't be to their detriment. I'll take OKC in 5 here, just because New Orleans will be without Zion and I have no idea how consistent Brandon Ingram can be. Moving on, we have the number 2 seeded Denver Nuggets versus the 7 seeded Los Angeles Lakers. For full disclosure, I'm going with my heart here. I know the bad history between the Lakers and the Nuggets, well, bad on the Lakers side. They got swept last year in the conference finals, they've lost like 8 straight games to the Nuggets, and so far it hasn't mattered if the game was even a close one. Denver just always finds a way to win. I've been following the Lakers season closely as an LA fan, and the season has been up and down. I think we've hit an upward trajectory, maybe, so that's what I'm counting on. And you always have LeBron James, who is healthier this season, and AD, who has been playing like a monster. On Denver's side, you have your soon-to-be MVP once again, Nikola Jokic. He is greatly complemented by Jamal Murray, and they have some very key role players in KCP, Aaron Gordon, and Michael Porter. So absolutely everything says that Denver will win this series, but I'm gonna go with the Lakers here. Yes, call me crazy. The Lakers must steal home court advantage in the first 2 games, and I'd rather do that in game 1, because if they lose game 1, man, the pressure is going to be off the charts for game 2, and then anything can happen. I don't think they can rebound if the series go 0-2 for them after the first 2 games, but I do think LA will win one of the first 2 games and in the end will take the series in 6 games on their home court. Then we have the number 3 seed Minnesota Timberwolves versus the number 6 seed the Phoenix Suns. During the season, Timberwolves lost all 3 games to the Suns. Now, if you would ask me before the season who would I take in a 7-game series, my answer definitely would be the Suns. After all, they have Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, added Bradley Beal, Nurkic is there. Yes, they don't necessarily have the depth, but still, they're top heavy and that talent can win games. The Timberwolves, they have Anthony Edwards, who is a superstar, I would say on the same level as those in Phoenix. They still have Karl Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert is in the running for the Defensive Player of the Year again, and they have some depth. In theory, Minnesota should take this. They have the defenders, they have the talent, but somehow they are struggling against Phoenix. It's not like the Big Three in Phoenix have been superb this season. They've barely played together this season. But in this moment, I'll count more on Devin Booker and the champion in Kevin Durant. I think the Suns take this one in 6. And for the last one, we have maybe the most interesting series of all in the whole first round. The Los Angeles Clippers versus Dallas Mavericks. Clippers have the home court, but Dallas was on fire in the second part of the season. I think Dallas has the best player in Luka Doncic, and if Kawhi is not fully healthy, I think they have the two best players in the series, as Kyrie-Luka duo has been very good this season. Dallas also added a good center to strengthen the front court. Lively has been good, and just their whole team seems to fit. The Clippers, after the James Harden trade, they started slow, but after a while they were one of the better teams in the league. Now, it seems they once again hit a bit of a slump at the worst time. Kawhi has been playing hurt a bit it seems, and Harden has just vanished. He ain't that all-star no more. They traded their depth to add Harden, and while in theory you would always do that just to get the better player out of the deal, I can't say with full confidence that that was the right move. Since one team is coming in hot and the other one is struggling a bit, I'll take Dallas in this one. And I'll take Dallas in 6 games. I think they're just better right now. So these are my quick predictions for the first round of the playoffs. What are yours? Am I completely wrong on some of my picks? Please let me know by commenting down below. Don't forget to leave a like for the video, subscribe to the channel, and obviously watch the first few games of the playoffs tonight. Thank you very much. This is Purple Prince, and I'm out.